With Andy and Nuno, and we're going to continue on building a site. And today, for anybody watching, when you argue with your partner for about like a good 20 minutes about how your camera's not working, always check the camera enable button. That's your first option, because that is a lesson I had to learn today the hard way. So, yeah, there we go. So, with that being said,
So the reason of this is it's often user error.
yeah, that's right. It's all for user error. That's actually two things today that were user error. I think we need another video clip chat button. And Andy decided to always tell me that every time I do that is we're going to show that as Andy's hot tip. Do not argue with your partner when it comes to simple technologies and buttons. So we're going to do that. So with that being said, all right, so welcome everybody, Automated Marketer. We're going to continue on our church build out. Today, we're going to build a few more pages out, and next week we are going to start getting into the automations, which is, hey, you can build a great website, but wouldn't it be nice if you can also build a business in a box that does pretty much everything for you? And probably in the next 2 weeks or so, we're going to be communicating with the client. All we've been devoting every week is about an hour to this so far, and I think we were about 5 hours in. We got a couple pages up. We have a count. We have the website up. We have a really good format to it. And now we're just continuing to build out. So without further ado, I'll turn it to Andy as we continue on to building the rest of the site out.
All right. Well, I'm excited for everybody to see. I'm actually just making sure that we are live. Yep, we're live on Facebook. Beautiful. So to quickly review this again, this is the site that we are converting. This is the Miracle Missions Full Gospel, church. And as we had mentioned before, we're going to be redesigning this, making it new, updated, and oh so beautiful. Here is the site as we're starting to put it together. As you can see, there's a lot more going on, a lot more fun. I'm trying to make it wider so everyone can see. So actually, let me make it a little. Okay. All right. So what we're going to be, we've already worked on the home page, and we had the top, we had the streams, we had the story, little contact information, something like that. And yes, last time we were around, we did the ministry. Today, we're going to be doing the give section, because a prominent thing on their homepage and the way that they stay afloat as a church is to always have donations. So this link needs to go to a page. We need to make that page with every way a person can give to the church. So if I go to the give page, this is again an empty page that hasn't been touched. So just to review again what we always do, we're going to enable the visual builder.
And just to recap for anybody that's just catching on now, we're using Divi Builder. We kind of went over all the different builders that are out there, but more importantly, we just wanted to make sure that everybody's fully aware that this is the one we've decided to use because it's really simple to use. It's got a lot of updates. It's been around forever. And you usually choose between 3 of the best. To our opinion, Divi, we like the best. Elementor is a very popular one that a lot of people use. And then you have a third one that's usually around, I would say, Divi, Elementor, and Beaver Builder.
Beaver Builder. Yep. And sometimes Elementor has another name that is escaping me right now that uses a lot of the same technology. Forgive me, folks, for a second. I just need to turn on the fan in my office. All right.
Actually, not his office. It's like in his mom's basement. And
no, my wife gave me the basement.
His wife's basement, and this is like
my wife's basement. My wife adopted a child 22 years ago, and that was me. All right, so we already built out a page called Our Mission. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cloning this page and using it again for the give page. So I'm going to go to clone. I'm going to go to Our Ministry, which is the one that has that layout. I'm going to use this layout. It's going to load up. And, just give me 1 second. I have to literally turn on the air in here. It's New Jersey.
My partner is dying in his room, and it's like New Jersey, and it's like 96 degrees outside. Yeah, so unfortunately, we might want to take care of that before we have him pass out on us. So
yeah, okay. So that's all fixed. Okay, so this is ways that people can give. Let's see what they have on their old website. On their old website, they have. Where is that information? Let's take a look. Make a donation. and they have these. So this is actually going to go pretty quickly. So they have a Givelify and Cash App. And so all I got to do is basically get this information. This is a link. Okay, cool. Okay, I got this. So send your, okay, so this page is make a donation. Oops. Sorry, I've got to edit within here. Make a donation. And down in the paragraph, in this area, in this paragraph area, we're going to use the same content that they already have. Okay, make a donation. I'm going to take this right here. Okay, let's read this out really quickly. Send your tithes and offerings to Miracle Missions Full Gospel Church, and you many also make, and you, well, that, okay, so we're gonna, so something, a slight free service we all do for all clients is one of the most important thing you can always do with your client is read the text that you're giving. And they are obviously have a word in here that isn't correct, so we're changing many to may, and so that way it says, and you may also make a donation to our building fund campaign. We need your financial contributions to help make our new church home and family life center a reality. Your donations will help us to create missions that will help this community to become stronger. Based on this, based on the words that are written over here, I'm actually gonna make an executive decision, and I am
gonna make that. Yep, that's a good choice.
I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to change the background here to be, instead of what I usually have as a background, I'm actually going to use the new center. So we're going to copy that. We're going to save this. We're going to copy this. This is their plans for a new. This is their plans for a new church. So I'm going to save this image. It may not be the right size, but it's going enough. So I'm going to change this background right here. Okay, and I just have to figure out exactly where that image is. That's the section, so it's not there. Probably in this background right here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to upload the image I just downloaded. Awesome. Cool. That's going to be much better. And then I'm going to put that image. I'll also do it further down the page. Then I'm going to start deleting things that I don't need on the page, because we only have 2 places that a person can give. So I can get rid of one of the columns here. And I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to leave this bottom section just in case there's more that I can grab. Okay, donate today with Givelify. I can't. Givelify? Is that the right way to say that?
No, I don't think that's the right way to say it, but we can go with
it. It is. It literally is. That is the right.
Oh, is it really? God, that's the
name of the the app that they use for people to donate online. So we're going to delete that. I'm going to change this image. Now, I don't love this image that they have. I will bet you any amount of money there are better ones online, so I'm going to look for it. So go to images, find something maybe that's this is so much better. Okay. And actually, it looks like there's 2 logos, so we always want to see what is the latest logo that's on the actual Givelify website. Because oftentimes when you're redesigning a website, yeah, it's got the new logo. Okay, so we got to find a better image. Let's see a nice big fat image here. Okay, I'm going to use this one right here. I'm going to download this image. Okay, and then I'm going to upload it to the new one. And I've uploaded the new image. I'm going to take all the text and I'm going to center it.
Cool. I didn't even know that they actually created like an app now to basically collect donations. I mean, churches are getting more and more advanced as we think about it, huh?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Hold on a second.
Andy, check your sound a little bit. You're coming in a little echoey.
Hold on just a moment.
Not that I don't like your voice, but in echo, it's kind of weird.
Um, how do I sound now?
Even worse.
Even worse.
And now I'm echoing in your side.
How about
Ladies
now?
and gentlemen, live streams are not easy.
How about now? You know, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now, and you're not echoing. Not that again, I don't value your voice, but like an echo of your voice kind of makes me like what the stuff of nightmares
Hurt
is
me.
made
Hurt me. Hurt me.
of.
Thank you so much for your vote of confidence. And for some reason, this image right now does not want to center.
So funny. So yesterday we were having our I don't know, quarterly meeting, whatever it was, and we were just kind of going over. And anytime like, and I don't know for any partnerships out there, like I always feel like when you have a good partner, like what happens is like we work faster and better when we're kind of together in the same room. And the fact that we're a remote business, right? So we've been designing websites from our home offices for God knows how long, and then like having it where two people are in the same place, I just feel like we get so much more done. But and especially when it comes to the design and back end and figuring all these different things, when you have two brains, and I think Andy's like more the creative mind, and I'm more of like the strategic, like this is the stuff that we need, and then Andy's like, well, he makes it look pretty and he makes more sense, and he also puts reason into my chaotic head because I have like a million ideas and I can execute on all of them, but yeah, it's usually a bad choice when I try to do that. So,
Well, I think what's important when you're dealing with partnerships is that we each bring our unique. You do not want a copy of yourself. You want to have somebody who is. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now it's finally working. Sorry, folks. I was dying to get this image to work correctly. Um, to always have someone that you can work with who isn't exactly a carbon copy of you, because you don't want two of yourself. That doesn't help the customer. You want to have somebody who brings strengths you don't have. So hold on just one sec. Okay, now their other choice is this Cash app. So I'm just going to save this image. Okay, and then just have thank you for. Okay, so here is the people's choice. Kind of like the. Okay, here we go. Okay, upload the image. There we go. Ooh, and I got to change the language underneath. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of it completely. Okay, so now we have the two apps in there, and now I'm going to put the information down here about their new home. So, our mission. Copy this. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, I'm going to paste that text right here. Then I'm going to pull that image in. I'm going to delete this section and this section. I'm going to add an image right here. And it's going to be of their new facility that they're working on. I'm going to align it in the center. And we're going to put it above the word mission, just like they have it on their website. And I'm going to get this information. I'm not going to try to say the word there, because I will say it terribly. Okay. Paste. Gold. And center. All right. Okay, and this page is done, Nuno.
Awesome. And how long did that take? It took about 17 minutes. So think about that, right? So because we've already had a pre-made format, that took a total of like 17 minutes.
So fast.
To do it. And guess what? As we keep creating the different contact pages, as we keep going through this, it's going to allow us to do the same thing, which I think is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. So now if we look here, and you have to forgive me for just a moment, I need to bring up our sitemap. Nuno, why don't you actually, I'm going to take a 2-second break here, and I'm going to
Mhm.
stop sharing. And if you are able, could you bring up our sitemap?
I can, so give me 1 second. And this is why, again, when we first started designing the site, this is why the plan is so important, because what a lot of people tend to do is, as you're building, this is exactly what happens. You start building or you getting into the flow, and then what happens is you just start losing track of like where you stayed and like where you kind of left off and what's kind of next. So if we look into our screen, yeah, there we go. So anyway, I can zoom in on that. Hold on. I thought I can control. Yeah, there we go. So I believe we were trying to go down the ministry path last week.
Yeah, we did that already. We did the give. Now we need to do the resources. Okay, so that's the information that we need, the resources information.
See, and again, got like everybody watching, like this is exactly what we talk about. Like, gotta make sure you have a really good process around like how you're designing the page, and then we got to go back and making sure that especially this area down here, these call to actions and everything else, and directions and major announcements and being mobile friendly. Those are the core things that we wanted to really improve on this site. So we want to make sure we stick to that because that's what's going to be super important as we go through.
Okay, so now I can just keep.
So we want to make sure we stay. Look at that! Like now we're on stereo. How do I mute it?
Now I can just keep.
There we go.
Oops. I got to keep pulling information. Okay, our services. You know what? We don't. I can't remember. Do we have an our services page? I don't think we added the our services.
No, we don't think. I don't think we added our services page either. You want me to go back to that?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so let me share, and I'm gonna start pulling in the our services information. So if you want to.
Yep, I'm out.
Okay, and I'm gonna go back to sharing. Thank you for the help there. So this is our services page, and we go to that just here on the left-hand side, and as you can see in here, we have our ministry, watch, so forth. So we need to add an our services page. So I'm just going to reuse the our ministry page and turn it into an our services page. So I'm going to exit the visual builder here. I'm going to create a new page. Oop, that was a post. Sorry. I'm going to make a new page. I'm going to call it exactly what they actually have on the page. Our services. Okay. And I'm going to publish it without any information on it. And then I'm going to use the Divi builder to make it pretty. And again, I'm going to clone the ministry page. Okay, there we go. Ministry, use this layout. Okay, now I can pull our services right from here. Okay, services. Now let's see if there's a way that I can improve what they have here. They have faith, not fear, message regarding coronavirus, probably still very relevant.
Yeah, I would definitely include that. I think that's going to be a necessity.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to bring in this copy right here and make 4 different areas. I want to reuse. Actually, I want to delete this whole section here. Okay, I'm going to delete this section here. And I know on this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So I'm going to clone this guy 5 times. 1. So that's now we have 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make every other one of these white, so there's some change in it. So these sections can be seen. Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to make it white again.
Yeah, and here's another kind of like pro tip that everybody understands, and like this is why it's cool to design in a builder like this or in general. The one thing that I will tell you is that once your site is up, going back and updating it once you have the general format down is really nice. Like so, every now and again, like when we feel that there's things not converting, we literally just had this happen. And there was a particular site, it had a great call to action in the front, but everybody that was coming on was really not doing anything with the site. We changed a few button colors up, we changed the headline a little bit, and it immediately changed the whole atmosphere of in it. And what's cool is once you have the base frame down, you can come in and redesign. We just had a customer of ours that wanted to go into a little bit more of a modern look, but we were so close in what we were doing. But again, the site wasn't really converting, wasn't really sending the right message. And it's funny because it was like for male testosterone, and the guy in the front was just like holding a backpack, and he's like, I don't get it.
He was a bird watcher. He was a bird watcher.
Bird watcher, that's right. He was a bird watcher. And for us, we didn't even think about it. And I'm looking at him like, oh yeah, it does kind of look like a bird watcher guy. So then we switched it with, obviously male testosterone. It's usually, it helps people kind of get fit. There's a whole strategy behind it and everything else. So we literally changed the image and changed the headline, moved it a little bit closer together. And voila, all of a sudden it started converting a little bit better. Not a little bit better, a lot better. But that kind of goes to show. And to say that we haven't done even that in our own sites is important. So remember, once the base is done, going back in and just correcting it and making it work goes a very, very long way. So don't ever hesitate to think about that.
Don't be afraid to change things. Nothing is set.
Correct. Don't ever be afraid of changing things. That's 100% very smart.
Okay, so what I'm doing, just so you know, I've got it open in another window so I can easily redo the formatting. The reason, if we look at the original page, as I'm showing it here, everything kind of blends into one. And it makes it kind of harder to really pull out and see what's important. So what we do is we use accent color in order to make that separation. So as I have actually, I think I need to flip it, but I have tan and then white. And because I have tan, then white, your eye, it's drawn a little bit better. So I'm actually going to, I wonder if I could leave the tan. I'll just leave the tan.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I would say the tan's pretty all right.
And now I'm gonna put that image in here because that's the next portion. So I'm going to save this image again. Okay. Whoops. That.
Secret sauce. Oh no, we probably just gave away like 17 bank accounts and nobody was paying attention. No, just
kidding. Never. I don't show bank accounts. Well, maybe one. No. Okay, let me load that. Okay, and we have this image. Yeah, this is a lot better of a page already. I can already feel it. Okay. And I'm going to do this in another page also so I can see it as I'm doing it.
We'll probably do that, that kind of like main image a little bit differently. Obviously, that's got a lot going on in there. It's a little simple.
Yeah, very
and that's actually a very good, actually something our YouTube coach kind of told us is like, even when designing thumbnails, and again, we're kind of brand new inside of like the whole like YouTube game and whatever else, but I can tell you that one of the biggest things that we were told is like, the images are kind of like the eye-catching, like getting the attention in there. And the busier it is, the harder it is for it to read. And I think, I think one of the things that we noticed, and I think you even said it, Andy, last week, is remembering the audience. The audience is going to be people that are going to a church, so it's obviously going to be like an older audience, and it's like it's not always going to be like the best to have a lot of things scrunched up in one big flyer. So breaking that flyer apart and just making it a little bit different will probably go a very long way. And I even contemplated, Andy, what do you think of us like bringing just the actual like font just to be a little bit bigger on the site to be more manageable for some of the older?
Actually, yep. Actually, I just realized I just put this in the wrong section based on what you just said. So I am actually pulling in this font and making it bigger. There we go. Yay. Okay, and sometimes you make a mistake on something. So again, the reason I do the things the way I do them is so that I can clone things easily and just reuse them in other seconds. All right, and if you look, this is actually, now this font size, I believe, if I did it correctly, is 16. You do not want to try to go too much smaller than 16, because when you're doing your text. Yeah, I got it right at 17. That's right where I want to be. That is a good, larger standard size no matter the age. You don't want to have it too big. Anything 16 and above is the best way to go. And that's their messaging on coronavirus, and that's the end of the page. So I can delete this section. All right, and just as quickly, we were able to make in our services page, but it's not in the menu, Nuno. So what I need to do is now I need to go to the menu, and now let's talk, Nuno.
Oh, here we go.
Do we?
This is where things get spicy.
Do we? If I add services just like this, okay, let's take a look at that.
That is such a heavy menu, though.
Right, exactly. Thank you. You hit the nail on the head.
Well, you're agreeing with me. I thought we were going to have an argument.
No, I rarely, but no. But this, I 100% agree with you. I think
fantastic.
It needs to go under our ministry.
It does. It does. And here's the thing, though. Like, big thing when it comes to online marketing. The more choices you give to people, the harder it is for people to navigate. One like really cool lesson with kids, like, I don't know if you want, whenever they're about to make a choice, like I always give them the choice I want them to make, but I give them two choices. I'm like, would you like the red vegetables or would you like the blue vegetables? So it's like, there is, because no matter what, you're going to eat the vegetables. So it's almost the same choice when you're building a website. Try to give as less possible choices of people to navigate, because like that, they'll go where you want them to go, and all should lead into the main pages as we kind of go through.
Right.
Oh, something there happened. Don't like
on purpose. So now I can edit the header, and I got to make sure that this looks correct for my drop downs. So,
but just kind of recap, because you went super fast there. You went into. Can you just kind of recap how you got into the menu area? Because this was this even confuses me nowadays, because this changed.
Okay, so in services, when I add in services, I'm going to delete this for the sake of this conversation.
And you're an appearance under menus inside of the WordPress menu.
Correct. So what I'm doing is I'm adding to the menu. I'm adding to the main navigation. So I choose our services. I click add, and I can embed this page underneath the other pages. So I just drag it and I drop it, and there you go. Now it is under our ministry. And as you see it working, and I'll show it to you on the home page.
Yeah, then how did you get to the to like fixing the menu? Because I think that's like another.
Okay, well, that's what I want to talk about next. So as you can see here, I did not stylize a drop down. So that's what we're going to do now. So in order to do that, I from the visual builder, I'm going to just discard and exit this because I just want you to see it. Is I click enable visual builder. Instead of working in the main section, in the section of the page, I'm going to work on the universal part, which is just the header. This is actually you've only been able to do this for about 6 months with Divi. This is a newer toy in Divi. So they gave you finally the ability to update the header. If I update this header, it's going to update on every single page that has this header. So I click into this, and we use another system. It's it's like when we do a global in our other software that we'll show at another time. So now I'm going to work within the drop-down menu, and we want to see how that drop-down is all white. So we want to change the background color. See what it looks like with the gold. Much better.
Okay. But you know what? I think that's too like. I think it mixes in too much. Is there any way maybe that we can do like the white with the gold background instead?
It's really going to throw it off. I would go with a different gold. How about that?
A different gold, maybe. Yeah, just to make it a little bit like pop out a little bit more. I think that way it's even worse.
I want to keep it within the same theme, because when you're working on a menu, you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to make it too much of a job. But I do like when that
blue line
definitely offsets, though.
Yeah, that blue line is going away, by the way. So
yeah.
Let me get back into that. Okay, menu text, drop down menu. I gotta get rid of that blue line. Text color, background color, active link color, menu line. So yeah, good. That's red.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But I would probably use something like black, or I would use white.
White, I would do white. Yeah, white looks good.
Yeah, and then I'm going to change the color. That see how it differentiate. I can't speak English today. Differentiates the color, and there we go. And that way, if there's any further ones, they'll just come underneath. Okay, let me save that. And now that I've saved the menu, it should work on the homepage after I refresh. And there we go, our services. Very simple to add, and we can keep adding links to that section. Now let's just see, based on that, if there's what other pages. I don't want to add too many pages because when we do talk to, I don't want to make pages that they may get rid of.
Yeah, correct. And but I do believe that we were consolidating some of them anyway, right? So we
Have
were trying to put all of them in one page. So we did our mission, our staff, our new home, community, and jobs. But I think we added that to a lot. And
Yeah, so I think at this point now we have to start bringing in the. We're probably going to have a meeting with the client to figure
well,
out.
you know what I wanted to do though? I really wanted to work on the watch page and just create the frame around it. And I don't know how far we got into the watch page.
We haven't done the watch page. Now I can take this area and just kind of clone that into the watch page, but make it a little spicier. Not spicier, but easier on the
Yeah,
eyes.
this
So
is a holy site. You know, we definitely don't want to make it spicy.
yeah, yeah, wrong kind of video site. Sorry, folks. I'm childish sometimes. Clone. I'm gonna take the home page. I'm gonna be cloning the home page.
And again, see this cloning function? It makes it so much easier. You have no idea.
4 pages.
Back in the day when you had to do this, holy, like, well, you could copy and paste code, but it would just be so much more trying to figure out how to make it all done. And Andy, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to create some kind of offset background. I want that video really standing out on the watch page.
Yeah, actually, you know what, Nuno? Because I think watching so important, I don't even want this header on the homepage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, can we get rid of the header and can we make that background maybe something a little bit different?
Actually, I want to pop it out as white. Actually,
look at the design. No. Look at the design master in session here.
I got. So usually I do this in silence and I think through. So I just need a minute to think. I want to pop this as gold. And even though it's the same dimension, it is now gonna have. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. Even though it has the same dimension and the same information, the same layout, it's different because of the color. So let's go here. The cool little function on Divi is I can clone, I can copy the module styles, and I can paste it so I don't have to go through it all again. Okay. All right. And I don't think we need our story, so I'm going to eliminate that. You know what? I'm going to leave the donate because they probably, while church is going on, they ask for donations. So I'm going to leave the donate on that page. And this is where the live video is going to be when they give it to me. And then the other choices are going to be right here. So let me go into here, design. Let me check out this content. That's just the H4. Okay, good. Now I can clone this look and feel across all of them, copy module styles. Because remember, folks, we're presenting it to the client. It's almost a pitch. Even though we've already designed it, we're kind of still pitching it to them. Okay.
My mic was muted. The goal here is what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to try to make sure that, because it's a sermon, right? And I believe they have StreamYard from my conversation with Tamara. So I know that we can probably put something in there that will make it really, really nice. And the goal of it is they're going to come in, you know, a person can't make it to church or whatever else. They'll be able to see the live stream directly in there. And if they don't have StreamYard or live stream set up, we're probably going to help them to kind of get that going. Because again, you got to think about all your audiences and just like, you know, how can they do, how can they serve everyone wherever they are? And I think this is going to be a really great addition for them. The fact that we're going to make this live and they're going to be able to do their sermons from whatever, and it's going to go live on here. People will be able to catch it right on the website. It's going to be a big win.
Yep. So what I'm doing, just to kind of fill you in, is I'm kind of moving some stuff around because I'm assuming that people are most likely to give during a live sermon.
Oh,
So
look at that. That's brilliant. I know where you're going with that. So you want those buttons right then up top, right by the live video.
I want to put it directly underneath so they are always, there we go.
I would actually put it in the same section, no? And is there a way that maybe we can divide? Oh, look at that. That looks great.
No. I want to put it below because I think the video needs to be first. Here we go. This is what I want.
You know what? But I got to be honest. If you would put the video in square middle of that background, I think that's going to look great.
So what?
If you put that video directly if you go to the bottom and put them in between that, I think it's going to look really good with the background.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because even if it's not background, I think adding color and video, maybe even a border to the video, is going to make it look super sharp and it's going to stand out. Let's see if I'm right. Needs to be a little bit smaller. I think we can bring it to 3/4 size and then maybe even putting a border around it.
Okay, give me a second here. Let me see here. Design, sizing. We're going to bring it to 75.
Center.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I'm going to take these. I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to put him in here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this section now. Change this to white.
There you go. Now you got a nice little background. Adds it a little bit more flavor when somebody's like staring at that video. It'll look good. What do you think of a border, Andy?
Not a big fan of border because a lot of people are going to be looking at it on their phone and it's just going to take space away from when they're viewing it on their phone because they're just going to be sitting there going to church. It's amazing. It's amazing. When I was a kid and I used to go to synagogue, I would have to get up, shower. I'd have to do all these things before my bar mitzvah. And I would have to go down there, and I'm just a kid, and I don't want to go in the first place. And I'd have to sit there for hours and hours and hours. And then a lot of people couldn't show up. My parents, who are still going to the same synagogue in Delray Beach, Florida, during COVID, were able to go to synagogue and be on their phone like this. And they actually came and visited me when they weren't live yet. My parents were able on Saturday morning. It was wonderful. It really was. It's a good connect. My mother is disabled, and to have her be able to go to synagogue, which is one of the big joys in her life on a Saturday, to watch it. I'm going to synagogue.
That's real.
Was with her phone. It was a really wonderful thing. I just had to have a moment there. I just had to say that how great of there's a lot of problems with the internet, and there's a lot of issues, and there's a lot of BS that I don't want to say the full word because of the site we're working on. But there are a lot of really good things.
Oh, there are a lot of benefits. I mean, if you really just think about all the availability, I mean, this is why we love marketing. I mean, like, look, I'm a big believer in a lot of what we do is to help online businesses grow and everything else. But this is the main thing why. Like during when the whole pandemic was happening, we knew a lot of local restaurants around our area here that got shut down because of it. People that have been around for 30-something odd years. And it's harder for them to get the refooting back when all of a sudden they were relying on that income coming in. So, I mean, the impact that it has, but the internet also helps it. This is why we always tell everybody, I mean, like, this is something that nowadays you just really can't ignore, no matter how long of a withstanding business you've had, whether you've been around for 30 years, 40 years, it doesn't matter. Look, even a church can benefit from this. And look at the look at the little tiny things that even Andy just thought about right now. When somebody's in there and, when it's time for the tithe ask and everything else, and they need to donate, make it easy on them to donate and help the church out to kind of grow and develop and do whatever you need to do. Even something simple as that, who thinks of that? But everything really has kind of a marketing angle to it. Whether it's we designed a site for our Cub Scouts in our local area. And again, membership became really easy. People were able to find the site. More scouts and children got to use the services, and that's not even including half the organizations that are out there that have really solid donations and services. One of our favorite donations that we donate to as a company, which is Operation Rescue,
Yep.
that saves
Great organization.
like kids from slavery and all that. It is amazing, and their marketing program is absolutely amazing. I support it every which chance I get. But again, all brought live between all the actions that they've done online. And I got to tell you, the amount of money and sponsorships and notoriety and like attention that they get is massive. So whether it's a good cause, whether it's your local business, whether it's just something that you're really trying to get, even if it's a side income kind of thing. I mean, look, I started my marketing side hustle because my mom, was having some trouble, and I just couldn't do it with the salary that I had. So I had to create a little bit of a side income in order to make it work. And then that little side income turned eventually to an agency. I mean, like these are the things that the internet really does help in doing. I mean, when I was working in corporate, I could tell you that we went we went full virtual in like 2 weeks, and literally we went from not being able to service customers to being out there and servicing customers all the time. I mean, it was one of the craziest, most chaotic moments. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was a bank. Imagine not being able to operate and like you can't get your money out at the height of an
Yeah.
epidemic and everything else. And everybody like condemned them and like, cursed them out. But look, you need your money. And if you can't get your money at the bank because people can't get to the teller station and whatever else, that creates a problem. But think about it. It was at the height of craziness. And all of a sudden everybody's scrambling how to get there. We were able to go that virtual because we already had everything in place. We had Zoom, we had, like VPNs and all this other crazy stuff. I mean, you got to imagine the impact. Imagine all of a sudden, all bank people can't get to the bank to open up the
Right.
bank and you can't get your money.
Well, just to talk not only bank but necessary services. My nephew has a Thai food restaurant in Philadelphia, and I helped him a little bit because all of a sudden he couldn't serve people in his dining room, so he turned his business from a dining room, basically majority restaurant, to exclusively takeout, and actually is still more takeout because he's making more money doing takeout. So he actually makes so it actually works out for him.
If I was to turn back and if like knowing again like what we know now and everything else, I would have worked so hard with some of these local restaurants that I love so much, and I just go virtual, just go to order out or meal prep. If they would have done meal prep, all these people at home like not I don't want to cook again today for like the 17,000th time. They like it would have been mind blowing. And some of our restaurants, to your point, there.
Yeah, they can still be helped because here's the thing: people got used to being at home, and that's okay, and they can still do that.
Unless you're Andy and his family, where they go out every weekend. There's more adventures that happen with that family than anybody else I know. You guys definitely get the award for going out the most and everything.
It's nice to be. I gotta tell you though, it's nice to be back at home in my live studio. I
know. You get used to the studio a little bit. I spoiled you a little bit. I made you get a couple lights and some cameras, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't know what to do with myself when I'm not in that environment.
It's funny. We were in New Orleans, and for some reason, and if you're watching from New Orleans, this is no insult, but you guys don't like the vegetables. You will fry anything. So Andy needs to lose a little bit of weight now. Just to kind of go over again what I've got here. Now we have the live video. Our donation, when people are watching the live streaming, we've got the donation button easily accessible, easy to make their tithes, and the information below it. And then underneath it, we have recent sermons that are going on. So, your idea for the background behind here, brilliant. I love it. I think that's a smart move. Now we have home, our ministry, watch. Now there's events. I'm going to skip that for a minute. We have give, resources, and contact us. So the only things that are really missing are events, but they have no upcoming events on their old site. So I can't put something up without doing it. So I kind of want to see where they are with what kind of events, because there's a lot of different. What are these events? Because there's different ways to advertise this. Are they going to be selling tickets to an event? Are they having a fair? There's so many different ways to do events. So I want to get deeper with that. And then resources. I don't know what those resources is. Is it videos? Is it online educational things? So now it's kind of time to get to the client and really figure out what they're looking for so that we can make this site dynamite and they can show everybody. So
Yeah, which would be great. And then, our hope is that if we have to, we can actually deliver it live. So making a trip up to upstate New York and just kind of delivering it live. Once we get obviously a little bit, we'll have the final reveal with them live, and then we're going to take on our next site. So if anybody knows of a particular charitable organization as we kind of get through this, but I will say that in the next week, as we keep finishing, we're going to finish out the pages, probably one more session of just finishing out some of the core pages. And then we're going to get into where I'm going to take over, and we're going to create a full business automation suite to kind of intake any kind of reminders or anything else inside the system and allow them to really communicate with their clients. Everything from email to kind of that. And we're going to use Highlevel, which is one of our favorite CRMs. We teach it all day long. We enjoy it. It's an all-in-one tool, and we just kind of fell in love with it. So
does anybody you want to have fun for a minute? You want to have fun? Do you want to laugh at me? A girl that I took to prom in high school literally just sent me a picture of me at prom. So just to show you how far you can come, kids. Okay, if you're a geek, this is Andy, ancient Andy, right here.
I love it.
So you too can one day go from a geek to having a podcast, having a show, having a great
or a bigger geek. Older, bigger geek.
So wonderful.
Well, folks, that's it for today. We're going to cover it a little bit short, just so then we can go ahead and recap. But thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in the next episode.